Hello. Alright, boys, how well done?
Not bad.
Just the three of us, it's
What?
nice.
Already the biggest lie going to be told in this podcast tonight. Nobody's alright. Everybody's absolutely fuming, aren't we?
It's one of the weeks, isn't it?
Oh, never a dull moment with Hearts, is it? Never a dull moment.
Never,
Just
ever.
when you thought Tuesday night, an embarrassing result. Hearts will react. Don't worry. There's no way we'll allow that to happen. We'll have to react, and then what's it now? What is it? Thursday now? I've lost track of what day it is now, and that's how angry I am. Here we are, 5 statements later, and every one of us we're camping on the plaza as we speak right now.
Speak for yourself. I'm still in England. I'm still in England. So don't send the fucking police my way.
Yeah. I'm also not going.
Wink. No, I'm definitely not going. Welcome back to This Is My Story, your unofficial Hearts podcast. There's only 3 years tonight because the other 3 are, like you said, they're defending the plaza and the statues. They're happy clapping, doing it with Anne Budge, telling everybody how amazing we are.
Or they're just sick of talking about Hearts.
No, the sad truth is they're watching Scotland, which is an embarrassment to us all. But let's move on. We don't talk about the national team on this podcast, do we?
No, we don't. I said this on Big Hearts earlier on. I can only follow one shite team at a time. And I made the decision in 1998 that was going to be Hearts because they play more often and I love them more. I don't have the let's say the emotional bandwidth to be able to follow Scotland and Hearts. So Scotland, fuck off. I'm not interested.
And I don't think at this moment in time you love Hearts. I don't think that's what it's called. But we'll move on. So. It's been a crazy week. Obviously, we did live reaction to the shit show on Tuesday night. Since then, Hearts Twitter has been red hot. There's been statements. There's been things going on. We just felt that, well, we might as well do a pod this week and just discuss things and go over what's happening, where things are going wrong, how we get better, what can we change, what will change, if anything, our thoughts and feelings, and just a bit of a rant, to be honest with you, as to where the football club is right now. We're no features again. Just like we said on Tuesday, I didn't really want to be laughing about pubs up in Gorgie and great away days and stuff when right now I feel so disconnected to the football club and let down by the football club that I feel that it's probably just going to be one of those. It's going to be like episode 2. Big Rab Fellman is going to have to tweet us tomorrow to say, you need to calm down. You're being too better. That's the type of podcast. Fire and brimstone, that's what it's going to be the day, innit?
There's only one big difference is the fact that I haven't had half a litre bottle of vodka to myself like I did on episode 2 and ended up slurring my words so bad nearly chewed my own tongue off. So I'm going to try and keep it measured and guarded and under control tonight as much as I can.
Well, might as well start because, like we said, that Tuesday is almost the tip of the iceberg, to be honest with you. The anger started to build after the match on Saturday, which again I think you had said had been spoken about on the Big Hearts call earlier, is that all of this seems to have been a culmination of the last 7 to 10, 15 matches where these types of performances have become almost the norm, to the point that, like we tweeted yesterday or on Tuesday, that I wasn't shocked by the result on Tuesday. And I think that tells you everything you need to know about Hearts Football Club. We joked about it on the podcast. We were doing our predictions. I said I didn't think Hearts would take the cup serious. I was just being a dick. I didn't actually genuinely believe. I genuinely didn't believe that we wouldn't. And somebody, I can't remember his name, Alan Meikle potentially, on Twitter actually tweeted it saying, don't pretend, if the cup didn't matter anything, why did you pay for a hotel? Why did you go up there and stay up there a couple of nights before? Why did you not just play the kids? So don't pretend that it's like something that can just be brushed off. We went up there and we took it serious and we got beat off a non-league team since the first time since 1900. So we'll just talk about the last couple of weeks. the sort of common themes that we've noticed over the season with Hearts, and we'll break it down, have a wee therapy session, try and cheer ourselves up because we do have a game on Saturday, but I don't know. It feels insignificant, to be honest with you. Right now, it feels like we've got a bigger fight in our hands or a bigger problem on our hands than the game on Saturday. So, anybody got anything specific you want to kick off with first and foremost?
Well, just to go back to something that you'd said a minute ago, how it was 7, 10, 15 games, right? Then you weren't surprised about the defeat to Brora. And then you marry that up to what Berra said in the media today, how he said, "Oh, that one's been coming." I'm paraphrasing slightly, but it was something along those lines.
That was suggested.
Yeah, I can't. I've not read the statement myself. I've only just seen the little bits and bobs in our group chat. But Berra saying, "Oh, you could see that one coming," and then obviously we're looking at performances being shit for the last umpteen games. Why has that been allowed to happen? Right? If you can see something coming, then you have the ability to change it. Right? So where does the problem lie? Is it in the squad? Is it just so pathetic or apathetic just now, or is it with Nielsen? What is it that he just can't see in other? If everyone else can see it fucking coming, why can't he? What's the big problem? So that's my first question.
Surely the question there. We'll talk about that statement first of all, because we had radio silence for Hearts for about 30, 40 hours before they actually released the statement today.
But that's because of Corbett.
Yeah, well, I told them just to stop tweeting at 70 minutes, and they did. So, but obviously you've got one of your most experienced players coming out saying he can see it. Your ex-captain obviously saying he could see it. Surely he has to have a conversation. He's surely some sort of the part of the squad that can voice that.
Mm-hmm. You would think.
Well, you've got Barry Anderson actually had a piece. It was a long piece, but it was right about the lack of voices at Hearts. Now you've just nailed it there. Fair. It's almost you could kind of excuse Christoph Berra to an extent if he was just a fringe player, just a somebody in the background saying, "Oh, I could see it coming." But he's the ex-captain of the football club. He was a captain for a number of years. He's played for the football club for ages. He's somebody that should be a presence in the changing room. He should be, hey, yeah. He should,
I'm only joking, that was just for the video.
Right. He's a presence in the changing room. You should expect him to be dealing with that as well. Do you know what I mean? So that one, not just his words, that what he said worried me, but it was the fact that it was him that said it, and the sort of standing that he has at the football club. He's seen it coming. So what? Has he said nothing about it and let it happen? Or are they no addressing it? They're not talking about it? But how? You have to put things into context, right? To say Brora Rangers is fine. It's a name. It's a football team. One football team beat another football team. Who fucking cares? Happens every weekend up and down the country. That's fine. But that's not the context. The context is they are the Highland League Brora Rangers. They are a non-league football team. We have never, the last time we lost a competitive match to a non-league football side was in 1900. 121 years ago, we got beat.
They haven't played this year. Am I right in saying that?
Aye, but again, that's true. That just adds fuel to the fire.
Exactly.
They could have played twice a week for fucking 10 months. Hearts under 18 should be going up to Brora and beating them. I'm sorry, I don't care if that sounds arrogant.
No, you're right. Let's be serious here.
There's no combination of excuses that would lead you to go, oh well, fair enough. They've been beat off Brora Rangers. It doesn't matter. Then you look at the football club. If Stranraer had been beat off Brora Rangers, it would have been a massive shock in Scottish football. If Clyde had been beat by Brora Rangers, it would have been a massive shock in Scottish football. It is Heart of Midlothian Football Club, the supposed third biggest club in Scotland, has lost to Brora Rangers. That is unacceptable. all across the board.
You look at it's not even comparable, but if you look at Montrose, right? Montrose, I don't even know what division they play in, right? But they are away League One, League Two, wherever the hell they are.
League One, yeah.
They played a Highland League outfit, Nairn County, on Tuesday and scuffed them 7-1. Right, so the only thing that's dodgy about that is the fact that Nairn County even scored a goal against them. But that just puts it into comparison. A team that is divisions below us was able to dismantle the same calibre of opposition by that scoreline. By rights, we should have been beating them 15-0. Well, I know that's a ridiculous thing, and it's just patter, but the sentiment's still true. We should have absolutely humbled them to the point where they should have been looking at a double score.
Well, aye. If you look at it into context as well, one of the last games Brora Rangers played in their league, they won 15 or 17-0 against like some daft like Fort William or something daft like that. That's the standard we're talking about here. This isn't. It's not acceptable, and then that's what leads on to why the podcast is what it is, and there's been frantic. Every Hearts podcast has had emergency podcasts this week because of the aftermath of that match. Has obviously prompted everything that we see right now. So obviously, from that we'd had 2 days of radio silence. I woke up this morning because my little girls aren't feeling well about 5:45 in the morning. Had a cup of tea, sat, turned on Twitter, and at about 6:15 in the morning could start to see people already tweeting and talking about a protest on the plaza on Saturday is what started. And by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Hearts have released a statement. They've gave one paragraph to the shit show that we seen on Tuesday night, telling us everybody's embarrassed about it, everybody's angry about it, but let's not rock the boat. And the ultimate goal is about promotion, and we're so close to gaining promotion. We're 16 points clear with 6 games left. You couldn't fucking tip the boat over. We're going up. Do you know what I mean? There's no rocking the boat here. And then 4 paragraphs telling us not to protest. And for me, I think that sums up everything about the football club. Do you reckon we would have had a statement from Hearts today if there wasn't talk of a protest?
Definitely not.
No.
100% not. It would have been one of those things that, see if we'd been thrown out by someone else, and there wasn't such a sort of vitriolic response to it, then it would have been just a case of, well, we're out the cup, fair enough, move on. There wouldn't have been a statement. It's the fact that there's been a knee-jerk reaction to inflatable sharks down the plaza. That's exactly what that statement's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Surely that shows the club how actually angry the fans actually are.
Yeah.
Like, bearing in mind, there is a pandemic.
Yep.
We aren't gathering. I'm not for the protesting away in sense of that, but I can see why people want to do it. Because how else are you? There's that disconnect from the board, the people in charge. That how else are you going to tell them? Because it's clearly not working on social media. It's clearly not working in any other way. Yeah. What other choice do you have? You're not going to stop your Foundation Hearts pledges.
Yeah, you have social media or written letter, because we're not in the grounds to be able to voice your opinion so clear. There is only a couple of mechanisms that are left open, and protest is one of them. I'm with you, Tam. Right? Well, I'm not going to say I'm for or against it. I'm a big advocate of free speech. Do what you want to do. If people are going to protest, fine. I'm not going to vilify them. If people are going to sit in the house and happy clap, fine. Right? I do care what's happening to the football club, but I'm not going to malign or sort of go to war with one half of the support over the other just because they're doing something that they feel passionate for. Right? So you know what? Do what you want to do. I don't care. What I care about is the fucking state that we're in.
Yep. And I think Tam makes the best point about all that. People see fans go to protest and then go, oh, that's out of order, there's a pandemic. What's making them want to protest? That is the thing that should set alarm bells off with everybody, because for a year we've all suffered. People have lost loved ones, people have lost jobs, people lose their houses, livelihoods, but yet they feel the only way that they can get through to the football club to show them that this isn't acceptable is to protest. I think it's dangerous to write them off and say that they're idiots. I think it's dangerous to say that the people that will show up are going to be like what we've seen with the scenes with Rangers or whatever in George Square. I would be more worried as a club to be like, well, actually, what is happening that the fans are willing to do that to make a point to us? I think that is something that can't be overlooked. I think we're all in agreement. I don't want to be stuck in my house for another 6 months of lockdowns. There is a pandemic going on. That is all absolutely true and all sensible. But what do we do? Like these, again, I was triggered because somebody said it was just 11 guys kicking a ball about. Bollocks! It's not 11 guys kicking a ball about. Look at every one of us. You've just been on a 2 hour charity phone call for a football club, giving up your own time just to talk to like-minded fans because we miss football.
Yeah,
it's never been just 11 boys to us.
100% agree with that. Like, and I don't know what comment it is you're referring to, and there's no point in calling them out for it now because, quite frank, that remark is beneath contempt because all things are relative to all people. So you know what? Some people do live and breathe football because it's the only social engagement they have. Sometimes it's their only excuse for leaving. And you know what? I think you're making a good point about the Big Hearts charity call. We obviously take time out of our lives every single week to speak to individuals who, maybe not vulnerable or whatever, but football means so much to them. That's their outlet. That's their thing. That's their passion, right? So to just rubbish it and say, "Oh, it's just 11 fannies kicking a ball about on a park or whatever," that remark is just shite. It should never be repeated.
And especially if it wasn't for those 11 guys on the park kicking a ball about, we wouldn't be donating fucking £100,000 a month to the Foundation of Hearts, £11 million over the course of however long it's run, and all that sort of stuff. We wouldn't be spending £500 a season on season tickets to watch it on our fucking telly. We wouldn't be buying the tops that you're wearing right now, the tops that are behind me that I've kept since I was fucking 11.
Some of the best memories you'll have. And when you're lying on your deathbed, hopefully many, many years from now, and you're playing back the highlight reel of your life, I guarantee you the fucking football club and the memories associated to appear in that highlight reel. Guaranteed.
And that's why it's dangerous to call them idiots for the people that want to protest. So
100%.
for anybody that's listening, they want to come and kick our doors down, let us make it clear. This is My Story podcast. I'm saying don't protest. All right? In an ideal world, don't do it. Stay in your house. We have to think of some better way to get our voice heard than protesting. But the people that do want to protest, we won't vilify you. I understand completely why you think you're at rock bottom and there's no other way to do it. I would ask you to do it in guidelines that are there. Try and social distance, wear your mask, and don't be a cock. That would be my overall message. If you're going to do it, don't be an arse. Do it properly. The club is already a laughing stock. The last thing we need is stupid scenes and things getting vandalised and people acting like knobs. So if you go,
exactly,
don't embarrass us.
Sturgeon, again, we always keep politics out of the podcast and we'll continue to do so, but Sturgeon has mentioned Rangers or Celtic. I absolutely don't want Hearts to be mentioned in the same sentence as those fannies, right? So, to your point, Corbett, again, we're not going to vilify anyone that is protesting, but my utterance would be, you know what, don't do it. If there's another way to do it, that's sensible, do that. You know what? If you want to spam and.budge at heartmidlothianplc.com, send her 10,000 emails between now and the weekend, do that. Right? But similarly, I know I just went in a big rant about I don't care what people do. I do in the sense that if it brings the club into disrepute, I'll be fucking annoyed with every single one of yous. But if you're going to do something, do it properly and do it in accordance with the law.
That would be it. I think it's just shows you how angry people are. I think it's something that the statement, will come on to the statement in a minute. We'll discuss it. It's just something that, again, I'll use this as an example because I know he won't mind me saying it. I won't tell you who it is, but you know who it is. But I was with a professional football player the other day, and we were talking about Hearts because he knows that I'm Hearts daft or whatever, and we're talking the usual. Why is Gary Mackay-Steven not playing well? How is Andy Halliday not settled in? What a terrible result Tuesday night, all that type of stuff. Putting the world to right as pals day when they're with each other. And we were talking about somebody being somewhere, and it got onto the Oxford or Burton or whoever it is Ryan Edwards is on loan to. And I said, oh, aye, that's Sean Clare plays with them. And he said, aye, aye. And I said, Ryan Edwards is there too. And he went, oh, Ryan Edwards used to play with St Mirren. Me, remember when Ryan Edwards was at St Mirren on loan, played with Hearts, but St Mirren beat Hearts, and the guy scored an absolute peach, and Ryan Edwards retweeted the goal saying, oh, what a peach, mate. Even though I played for Hearts, he's retweeting the St Mirren goal. And he just turned around and went, no way. And I was like, mate, I swear that happened. And he went, they just didn't understand how big a football club Hearts are. And I was like, you've nailed it, mate. You've hit the nail on the head. None of them understand how big a football club this is. And it's only been amplified even further with the fact that there's no fans there. Can you imagine fans at Brora on Tuesday night? That result.
There's been a pitch invasion, and there's a little ticker tape around, not ticker tape, it's a little cordon around the edge of the park. What you're going to do, you're going to step over it, run onto the park, and absolutely milky somebody. Like, it's mental.
Wouldn't accept it. You wouldn't accept it, and that for me is a big problem.
Is that why they think they can get away with it, though? Do you know what I mean? Like, Crystal Bearer could see it's coming. If you knew you were going to see fans in the stadium, would you actually not just up your game? Like, is that partly the reason that they're just like, oh, well, we've got nobody calling us out. The manager's clearly not fucking calling them out. The board on the board, they're arse.
Magic, genuinely, and I said this to you before the pre-call or whatever. I said there's 4 problems at Hearts right now. One of the problems is a byproduct of 3 main problems. The problem is the owner, the manager, and the players. And the byproduct of that is it's made a problem with the fans, because fans, we don't do enough to stop what we see on the pitch. We haven't for ages. We accept it. We've bought into completely the jam tomorrow culture at the football club, mostly on the back of the fact that because we almost went bust. There's a generation of Hearts fans that will always look back to the day that we almost went bust and being like, I'm just thankful to have a football club. Doesn't matter about progression, doesn't matter about where we go. Because we almost died, I'm just thankful that we have a club to support. And that turns into, like we said, apathy after results like this, where people turn around and say, it doesn't matter, son. It'll get better next week. Because that's the ethos of the football club as well.
Another point, to your point, Tam, about the fans not being there and being able to pressure people. That's not a unique situation to us. Every other fucking club in the land is in the exact same boat, yet some clubs are thriving. That, while it might be a factor, is not a reason.
Yep.
So that's all I would say in answer to that.
To be fair, that's a very good point.
So let's break it down.
You mean agreeing on something?
There you go, Hearts. This is what you've done to us.
Are we going out now? Do I have to take you out to dinner on Saturday?
You have to give me your people love every day.
Right on my MySpace, mate.
That's definitely not
That's what Hearts have done to us, innit? We've all started again. I'm telling you, I blame Shanks. Since he said I was a happy clapper, and I embraced it, the clubs went down the shit. Without me putting the pressure on them week in, week out, telling them that they're not good enough, since I started backing them, telling them they were great, sticking up for the manager and sticking up for the performances.
I've got my head in my hands, because that is it.
Okay.
This whole thing is Shanks' fault.
So he told everybody I was a happy clapper, and I embraced it, and now look at where we are. It's actually a joke. But do you agree with the thing I said there? Do you see, is there any other issues in the business for the business? Obviously, in the situation.
Well, there's loads of issues in the business.
That
business side's
that'll
probably
come
right,
under
actually,
the owner.
Yeah.
But I was thinking we'll discuss it. I think the owner's a problem, the manager's a problem, the players are a problem, and a byproduct of all those. Is there anything else in there? Because obviously there's subsections for all of that, but I think they're the 3 main things that we probably need to talk about.
I think
right.
you've covered the fans in a sense, but it goes back to that disconnect. Like again, like there's no voice of the fans. The club don't understand what the fans want. Well, I'm sure we'll get on it, but there is a voice, but it's not a very strong voice. I would rather. Yeah. I'm not getting at that, but
we'll talk about that in the owner. So problem one, Tuesday for me, like Christoph Berra said, and it's not excusing what he said, but again, we weren't shocked by Tuesday, or we were shocked, but I wasn't surprised. You know, it wasn't. I wasn't going up there full of confidence that this Hearts side, playing in the way that they're playing, coming off the back of a draw to Arbroath, would having already lost to part-time Alloa in the League Cup. I wasn't totally and utterly surprised to see that we struggled against Brora Rangers on a Tuesday night in the Highlands. So I think that all stems from the owner and the culture that she has cultivated at the football club since the minute that she's came in, which is everything you talk about. We've spoken about it before. We tried to do the Ann Budge law and order special type thing, but it was just daft because we were arguing against points that each of us were making, even though we agreed with the point that the other one was saying, just so that we could make a show. And the essence of that show was basically that none of us really liked the direction that the football club had taken under Ann Budge, because everything that we hold dear is what we believe Hearts to be has been slowly taken away from us. It's a myth now for me that Tynecastle is a bare unbelievable atmosphere for a number of years. The fans, like we said here, the fans have said they're going to protest Saturday with a statement saying don't protest. You know, if fans were there on Tuesday night and naughty songs were getting sung or a smoke bomb get thrown onto the park, we'd have had a statement Tuesday PM or Wednesday AM telling you not to do it. We just have created a culture within Hearts where everything has to be nice, and for me that stems from Ann Budge and our ownership of the football club. So, Ando, thoughts on where we go here with Ann Budge? Can she salvage this situation, or have we seen enough over the course from her to know that it's probably time to move on?
So that's a difficult one to answer. Do I think that she can resolve the situation on her own? And all things being equal, I would say no. I don't think she can. It's time to say, right, you know what? I got you out the shit. I gave you a lot of money. You've now paid me back, or whatever the scenario is with that. Fine. There's the reins. You take over now, right? Ideally, that's what I would want to happen. However, there's another factor at play, which is the fans will still allow her the latitude in order to carry on doing what she's doing. So there's two ways of looking at it. Do I have confidence in her? On the business side of the park, which we covered on Tuesday, absolutely fine. Yeah, you know what? Brilliant. The footballing, in a footballing sense, no. I've lost the confidence. It's just a case of how many fans are on my bus with that. If there's more fans on the bus that, right, you know what, yeah, she rescued us and blah blah blah, happy clapping, to use that phrase, then you know what, she'll continue to be afforded the latitude to continue doing what she's doing. For me, Tuesday, that's the line in the sand for me. I'm quite happy to see Budge get her jotters, pay her what she's due, chuck over the ownership to FOH and let them have a crack at it. But then again, there's also something in the FOH part, which is if we are a fan-owned club, we're not going to be a fan-run club, so it is important to get the right person in to replace her. So fan-owned and fan-run, obviously two very, very different things. But yeah, the short answer is no, I'm sorry, she needs to go now. For me, that's just my opinion.
Tam?
See, after Tuesday, but like we're talking before the statement, after Tuesday, I thought, Budge, surely she's learnt from her mistakes, like in a sense that she'll get rid of Nielsen, fresh start, really show a ruthless side that this isn't acceptable. What did I say? settling for mediocrity was the word I said on Tuesday, and that needed to happen. But after seeing the statement, the reaction, I'm just. You said it earlier about fans being apathetic. I'm just so done with it. I can't even be arsed anymore getting upset about it because it's just so. And that's part of the problem.
Yeah, no, that is a part of the problem.
That is a part of the problem because the fans have. It's gone from anger to just like
indifference.
I can't be arsed.
But that's not your fault. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
not a reflection on you. That's just you. That isn't because you don't care or because you're not as big a fan as the next person or whatever. That's a byproduct of the environment that is Hearts just now. It feels like everything is designed to suck the life out of you so that they can do whatever they want.
When you put it,
you know what I mean? Like that's what it feels
when
like.
you put it like that, it sounds a bit Celtic Football Club conspiracy theory. But I totally get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah. We've said it before, and you talk to any Hearts fan, they'll say the same thing. The football business is great. Off the park is brilliant. But we've said it a million times before. It doesn't say on Nando's top, Heart of Midlothian football business. It says Heart of Midlothian Football Club. It, no, I could not give a shit about what happens on the business side of Hearts. I care about what happens on the field. See if everything's great on the field and we're doing brilliant and we're where we want to be and the performance is good and we're no signing Gary Mackay-Steven who doesn't look like gives a fuck and we've picked Castanier off footed juniors bog hall or something like that, then you're happy for all the little things that Hearts more than just a football club. Doing the living wage, that's brilliant. If Hearts can be one of the leaders and innovators in those type of schemes, great. That's what I want. That's what we want for the football club. We've went for having Wonga on our top and payday loans and all that sort of stuff, which create a culture of debt and all that in the UK. To now we've got Save the Children, we've got a charity, we've got that. That's class. I'm all for that. That's brilliant. But you have to perform on the football park. I care first and foremost about Hearts on a Saturday at 3 p.m. Going to Tynecastle, sitting down and watching 11 boys, like John Cahoon said, that understand what it means to play for Hearts, what the fans expect from them, and for them to give 100%. If they're 100% falls short, I don't care. I'll still love them. We love the Hearts team for 1986. Every single one of them is a hero to a man, to the Hearts fan base. They ultimately fell short, but they gave every single ounce of what they had for the club, for the shirt, for the fans, and that's all we asked. We'll remember them.
You know why?
They're ultimately.
You know why? Because they played for a club, not a company.
Yep, exactly. They gave everything they had for the jersey. They played as if they were us. Is Gary Mackay-Steven doing that?
Does he fuck?
Got a question for you. There might be a wee theme here, but when was the last time we had that at our club? Because I'm tempted to say it would have been the admin season where we got relegated. It was the last time I saw that.
The championship season when we first came up,
Yep.
we felt like we had something to prove, we had a point to prove. Those young boys knew what it meant to play for Hearts. We had the excitement of the foundation of Hearts taking over. We've come out of admin, felt like we've taken off the shackles of the last few years. I'd even argue that the couple of teams before that, Paulo Sergio's team,
the Romanov
one that won
era.
the Scottish
Yeah,
Cup,
definitely.
They were playing. They were
100%,
playing. They were playing for free. Do you know what I mean? But the
I've
last
just been in. It's a good 5 years since we've had it.
Yeah, long time.
Easy. And again, if Craig Halkett is a good defender, then why is Popescu shite? Why is Berra shite? Why is Dickamona shite playing next to him? Do you know what I mean? There becomes a common denominator, and the common denominator that's been here for the whole of the decline has been Anne Budge and the Foundation of Hearts. Now we'll come on to the Foundation of Hearts in a minute because their statement today was piss as well. And we've got to be big and brave enough. Stuart Wallace was absolutely brand new on the podcast and it was great for him to come on. He faced up, he never hid for a minute and he got involved, he got stuck in, and that's fair play to him. So for that he'll always have our respect and we won't have any slight or any dig on him as a person or his personality because he does something that none of us are willing to do. But there is an issue with the Foundation of Hearts. They've backed every failure at the football club. They backed Levine when the club backed him. they're backing Robbie now because the club have backed him, and they will no doubt back Budge when the fans turn and they want Budge to go. And that, for me, isn't what I signed up to with the foundation of Hearts. If they're just going to copy and paste what the club does, what's the point in fan ownership? Because the whole point of having the fan ownership is so that the club doesn't just get to do whatever it wants with nobody from representing us questioning it. Do you know what I mean? So, but we can come on to that later. The thing with Budge, like we've said before from the start, is the blurring of the lines between football business and the football club. The football club has been on decline for 6 or 7 years, and to be honest with you, is the football business as good as what we all say it is? We need James Anderson to donate money every year to bail us out the hole. You know, if you take away his benefactor contributions, we'll have posted a loss for the past 5 seasons.
This as well, and just for anyone that isn't watching the video feed, this is my wallet. This is what, and not just this wallet, but thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them maybe, up and down the land. That is what's made the difference.
Yep. And if you look, we've joked about it there. There's a couple of threads on Twitter over the week about, we've signed 98 players in the time Anne Budge has been in charge. One of the windows, the summer window, we signed 17 players. 17 players. Absolutely mental. There seems to be a pure disconnect where Anne Budge, the problem that I have with the statement today is what you said, Tam, earlier is right. There was a way out of this situation. The fan base would have taken the kick in the teeth on Tuesday if on Wednesday you have the meetings, you let him say his goodbyes, you let him thank him for he has taken us back at the championship, but you say after a part-time loss to Alloa and now a loss to a non-league team, sorry, but the standards at this football club dictate that we can't accept that and the fan base won't accept it. Thank you, Robbie. You've been great. You've done what we needed you to do. You've stabled the ship. It's time for you to go. That is how she could have got out of it. And she would have, like you said, Tam, it would have shown all of us she'd learned from her mistakes. But as it stands right now, she's going to stick by Robbie Neilson, and we are on the verge of starting down the path that we did with Craig Levein. Which means, like I've just said to there, you went to the toilet, Tam, before we started recording. I said to Ando there, if we draw Rangers at Ibrox for the first game of this season next season, and then our next game is Hibs at home or Aberdeen away or someone that's going to be notoriously hard, and we lose to Rangers first game of the season and draw the next game, the season's fucked already. Because the fans will circle. It happened 2 seasons ago when we started away to Aberdeen. We were 1-0 down, 2-1 up, got beat 3-2. Hickey got sent off. And that was it. Fans instantly get Levein out. And I don't want to go to Tynecastle every week knowing that we're a bad pass away or a goal down for everybody to start turning on the players and on the club, because it's boring. It doesn't do anything. The players have shown over the last couple of seasons that they're absolute shitebags. I can't handle the pressure of playing for Hearts. You tell me that I've sold out Tynecastle starts turning on them, that these guys are going to fucking pull their socks up and start putting in a performance. No, they're going to hide. That's what they do. They've got fucking previous for it. And Budge missed the opportunity to deal with that on Tuesday. And I don't think now she herself has a way back with the football fans at the club, to be honest with you. I can't see how she solves herself. Here's a question for you, right, that I'd seen someone post. What is the point of having a CEO and a football director if the chairman is deciding that Robbie gets to stay for 3 years? It wasn't Andrew McNeil or McKinley or whatever he's called that released a statement today and said we're going to stick with Robbie Neilson. It wasn't Joe Savage.
Signed by Budge.
It was Anne Budge. What's the fucking point of having a CEO and a sporting director or a football director or whatever it is?
So
are they behind them? Or are they just?
It just really depends on the the structure within the organisation. So the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer, should be doing all that sort of stuff. The chairman is just there to be the chair of the board. Now, whoever's on the board is, that's obviously I think anyone can put themselves forward to be on the board. You just have to be voted in. Like, it should be, for me, the CEO, maybe not necessarily the director of football, Savage, but the CEO guy should be the one making that statement, not the chairperson or the chairwoman in this case.
Here's another thing I'd put on Twitter as well is, do you think Jim Jeffries hasn't spoken to Anne Budge and told her that Tuesday night isn't acceptable?
Spoke about this earlier.
We spoke about this on the Big Hearts podcast, because I'd made the comment that I fully expect, right, that if Jim Jeffries had been given the opportunity, he'd be downstairs in the dressing room, Robbie Nielsen by the throat up against the wall going, listen, you wee dick, that's no right. He wouldn't, if he was in a position of power like Budge is, for example, do you think he would have the sort of namby-pamby nature to say, oh no, it's fine, we'll just give you another go? Would it? Fuck, he'd be firing brimstone and rattling the sabre.
Exactly. And that's the ultimate problem that we have, and we've said it before. Anne Budge she sacked Cathro because fans turned and fans wanted them gone. She sacked Levine after numerous statements saying genuine fans and all this and sticking up for him and all that crap. She finally succumbed to pressure and got rid of Levine months too late. And now it looks like the only way we're going to be able to get her to act on Robbie Nielsen is to protest again. Where is the bottom of the barrel for Anne Budge? It can't get any lower than getting beat off a non-league team in the cup. Do you know what I mean? Like, does she have no standards of what's acceptable for the football club at all?
Well, she clearly has no standards when our previous manager before Nielsen didn't even get told he was being sacked. So,
exactly. So I think when fans do go back, you're going to see a combination and a mixture of, or it'll all come together and Budge out. I think that's growing now with every single bad result and every single statement like today. I hate those statements. I'd actually preferred them to have said nothing than to patronise us by saying the ultimate objective for this season was promotion, and then acting as if promotion is going to be an achievement. Someone that summed it up absolute perfect. Winning the championship was the absolute minimum expectation of this season. That doesn't mean it's an achievement. Ticking off the only thing that was like on the list or whatever, it was the absolute bare minimum we expected was to win the championship. So how is winning it, how is what we're doing right now an achievement?
Surely you have cup goals. You go, start of the season, you go, oh, you know what, you get to semi-final of the League Cup, the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup. But we've got papped out by two absolute jobbers of worthy teams.
And also, what should have made them even more raging is watching St Johnstone play Livingston in the League Cup final. Celtic and Rangers got put out of a cup competition. Clubs like Hearts, Aberdeen, Hibs, they should be swooping and winning those competitions.
You'll never get a bigger opportunity.
Aye, and that's why the arguments as to who is the third biggest force, they're just embarrassing, because we don't do it often enough. We've not won the League Cup in my lifetime, but again, we haven't done enough in terms of winning cup competitions. The other thing that should anger everybody is we knew who we were getting next. We knew if we got past Brora, we basically had a home tie against Stranraer. We're 3 rounds into the cup already. We should have been well more prepared for what we were on Tuesday. And again, that makes Anne Budge's statement so much more difficult to take.
I can't stand all this statement shite. Just in general, it's like we've seen it during the whole legal battle when we were fighting demotion and all that sort of stuff. You know who releases statements hand over fist, and it fucks me off? Celtic, right? They went through a period of, oh wait a minute, oh it's Tuesday, shit, we need to get a statement out. Doesn't matter about what, we'll just release a statement. I can't be arsed with this sort of stuff. Then it drawing undue attention onto yourself. Get your internals right, then worry about what you're putting out to the world.
Aye. Well, again, and just to even sum it up even better, 22 days ago, Anne Budge released a statement telling you that Robbie Nielsen was here for 3 years. Like that's mental. And I'm going to steal Tam's thunder again, because he made a very, very good point on Tuesday night. Aberdeen just replaced their manager because they sat 4th in the league. They've been to Hampden 9 times in the 8 seasons Derek McInnes was there. They've played in Europe every single season. They had 4 seasons in a row they finished second, and they got rid of their manager for finishing fourth. We finished third once in a decade. We've finished 5 times in the top 6 in a decade. We've won 1 trophy. Like we said, where is the bottom of the barrel for Hearts when it comes to managers? What is the actual standards at the club that are being maintained? It's a joke, right? So that was the first thing there. We'll touch briefly on the Foundation Hearts. We don't have to absolutely rip the arse out of the Foundation Hearts because I want to get torn into the players today and the manager. But the statement today was a whole load of words and never actually said anything other than the first line, which was, "We stand by the club," in their statement. That's disappointing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. The Foundation Hearts for me at the minute, and probably has been, which I understand because it's about saving the club and it's keeping the club running, but it is just a big bank account for Hearts as a football club. That's all it is.
Well, if they're going to act like they are today, then yeah, that is.
That's what I mean. Aye, that's exactly what it is. There's no say. Like, we all put our money in, our hard-earned money in, to keep this club afloat, but we get nothing back for it.
Don't get me
devil's
wrong.
advocate though, and again, the Foundation of Hearts, as you quite rightly point out, is just a big cash cow, right? Do they even? They don't have the power as it stands just now to influence the decision that's happening within Heart and Midlothian as an organisation. They're there as a.
Someone on the board.
Okay, fair enough. They've got one person on the board, but that's not enough. You are all you are just now essentially is a benefactor without a voice, right? So you are the cash cow. That's it. Until the Foundation of Hearts actually has a controlling seat or more members on the board to be able to control a majority, then it's almost a silent. It's a silent voice. It is a voice nonetheless, and they can punt out that statement. Let me imagine, or just to put it to you another way, if they'd come out and said, you know what, we think this is absolutely shite, it's crap, we think the club should sack Robbie Nielsen, Ambudge can turn round, swivel on a big director's chair and go, up you, 2 fingers. You don't have a say in this. You're not part of the decision-making process. You don't have enough votes to be able to do anything that you want. Now, I'm happy to be challenged on that because I might have got it wrong, but as far as I'm concerned, the Foundation of Hearts are just a silent cash cow. They can't do anything.
But surely you're not gonna turn around to your biggest investor and go, "Fuck you."
Well, obviously you wouldn't, because without the foundation, because if they did do that, you would just naturally upset the foundation. They have the influence over you. It's don't shit in your own doorstep. Don't shit in your own doorstep. Don't cut your nose off to spite your face. It's that exact sort of phrase that you'd be looking at. She's not going to turn around and wind up the Foundation of Hearts. What would have been ballsy is if the Foundation of Hearts, and probably Corbett, sorry if I'm stealing your thunders, if they turn around and say, actually, we're not fucking happy with this. Eventually, we're going to have ownership. We want you to do something about this now before we have to step in and do something.
I think
eventually.
That is right. But the bigger problem for me is the tone of them. Like you said, there's 2 sides to the story, but they only represent one side of that story. It's not the foundation of Budge. It's the Foundation of Hearts, backed by the fans, the money from the fans, and the fans aren't happy. And yet they sided with the club. There's loads of ways. I didn't expect Stuart Wallace to come out going, "Fuck you, Budge, get rid of Robbie Nielsen." That's not what I expected. But I expected the tone to be more than just, we agree with the sentiments of the football club. The overall ambition of the club this season was to get promotion. We are passionate, we're this, that, but loads of nonsense words that didn't say anything, and then, please don't protest. Literally a copy and paste job from the Hearts statement, just paraphrased. They represent the fans, they don't represent Budge. And like we've just nailed there, you've said, they represent their biggest investor, their consistent investor. That was what worried me more about the statement, was actually there's 2 sides of that story, and they picked the side of the story they don't actually represent. They could have put out and says, "We are as equally as annoyed and angry as you. We've requested an audience with Robbie and Anne. We'll put your queries to them, your worries to them, because we want to make it clear from our standpoint that as an organisation and as a fan base, we're not happy, and results like Tuesday and the League Cup results, etc., can't stand. That would have been fine. Something like that. Just something that showed that they were on the side and understood the fans. And that's what bugs me, is like I said earlier. They backed Levine when fans wanted them to go, and Budge was releasing statements. They just echoed the sentiments of what Budge said throughout. Do you know what I mean? So what's the point of having a fan representative if all they do is just copy and paste what the club says? They don't represent us then.
Fair point.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and here's my another thing I'd like to reiterate, just because we reiterated our point about the protest as well. I urge all Hearts fans, don't stop pledging. It's pointless. The lifeblood of the football club is the foundation of Hearts. As Stuart Wallace rightly said when he was on here, if you're not happy with the governance of the foundation of Hearts, vote. Get involved with getting the person onto the board that you want on the board. We have that right as the fans. We're emailed all the time telling us about the votes that are happening, the nominations for the votes. You can nominate yourself, you can go up for it yourself, you can nominate the guy you want. If you're not happy with the Foundation of Hearts, the best way to tackle that is to vote in the by-elections rather than stopping your pledge, because stopping your pledge cuts your nose off to spite your face. I understand why fans say they want to, but for me, I would urge you not to. I would instead make sure that you're part of the voting for the next time the elections come up, would be my takeaway sentiments. That's me, Corbett. I'm not talking for This Is My Story
No, you
podcast.
are. I'm telling you now, you are. You've got. I couldn't have said it better myself. Do not stop your pledge. Then, if you want to influence things, do it the proper way, like everything else. And there are so many, let's say, democratic opportunities for you to do so. Then, if you're unhappy with the board for the Foundation of Hearts, vote to change it. That is your right. If you're a contributing member of the organisation, absolutely do that. Tam, you're nodding your head. You agree as well. And the three guys that aren't here as well, you're not on your own with that one, Corbett. 100% agree from all and sundry.
Well, there you go. As for This Is My Story
Aye.
podcast, then. Don't
It's not a show name,
right?
but it might be.
Aye. That can be the show.
Nah, I
That's what
quite
Don't Stop
like club, not company, just because I said
it. So that ticks that one. The next one, manager and players kind of tumble into each other. Now without going over spilled milk with Robbie Nielsen, I think Tuesday night actually went perfect, full circle, and encapsulated everything that's a problem with Robbie Nielsen. One, the crazy formation and trying different things about AD White having to play here, and then Craig Halkett playing it right back, 2-3-1, all that sort of stuff. His excuses after the match, against Arbroath, talking about home records in Europe. It's just instantly, if you're the manager and you're looking up those stats, it tells you that you don't have any confidence.
They weren't even right
in your players. I can. Arbroath have won 3 home games all season or something like that. He tried to say after the first game we played there that they had the best home record outside the Celtic and Rangers and all that. It's just, even if it is right, who cares? Do you know what I mean? They're playing in the Vida League. They're playing numpties every week. They're no up against quality opposition. Who cares if that's what it is? And then today, a statement again about he'll take the blame for Tuesday. He knows that they need to work harder, and shut up.
Yep.
Actually, shut up. I'm fucking sick. Yeah.
You know why he'll take the blame? Because he knows there's no repercussions.
Exactly. And he's the manager.
Yeah.
Who else is taking the blame?
Exactly, aye.
Who else is taking the blame? It's your fucking fault. There's nobody in the room was going, oh, actually, I didn't think it was your fault. We all know it's your fault, Robbie. And you don't have to tell us that it's your fault. We know it's your fault. You should have walked away. As simple as that. Any manager worth his salt, Craig Levine, 5-0 away to Livingston, that offered his resignation. Let the club decide whether he stays or not. That's what Robbie Nielsen should have done on Tuesday night. Should have said, I've embarrassed the football club for the third time for Birkirkara, Alloa, Aurora Rangers. I clearly am the guy for me or whatever the problem is, I will be handing in my resignation to the board. They can decide whether or not they accept it. That's what he should have done. And then if the club
You
come
got
out
more
and say,
respect from me if that was the
yeah,
case.
if Ann Budge comes out and says, "Oh no, sorry, we want you to stay, Robbie," then fine. Right? Do you know what I mean? Then that's fine. But he should take the blame, and telling us that he's taking the blame is just embarrassing. Obviously, you're taking the blame. You're the manager. It's your fault. Nobody else was blaming anybody else but you. Do you know what I mean? And again, that's just the culture at the football club that has to break. We've had it for seasons. Every football player that joins the football club tells you that they're joining the third biggest club. We want to be playing European football. We want to be competing at the top of the league, getting to cup finals, all that sort of stuff. Then shite performances come and they come out and tell you no one's hurting more than us. We're trying really hard. We understand what it means to the club. We'll bounce back. We'll do all this.
So
It all means nothing.
it's all just words. It's just words coming
Aye.
out of people's faces. I mean, see that whole part, because it's almost a conflict, because you get people that, oh, you know what, I've signed for this club, and I've I look at the deep history and the tradition, and I understand what it means to be a Hearts player and all that sort of stuff, and just steeped in the tradition and all that sort of rhetoric. And then, to your point, when you get when they get their pants pulled down and scalped, oh, no one's hurting more than us. You know what? It's just lip service. That's all it is.
Yep.
It's just tell the people what they want to hear. I know. I've made a fucking career out of doing that. If any of my bosses are listening, then you know I meant that.
Kidding.
No, no, you know I meant it. Fuck is all.
But it's like we've said before, and the people we've just talked about, the owner, the manager, and all that, they take loads and loads of the blame. But Rab Fingway made a good point on Twitter, where he'd said about we've went full circle. These players have got away with it because at this point last year we were 3 weeks after losing to St Mirren, almost pretty much confirmed the relegation.
Yep.
I hated every Hearts player last year. I would not have given a contract to any single one of them, Mikey Smith included. Every one of them could have fucked off for all I cared. I hated them. Then the SPFL showed up and screwed us over, and my anger at them turned into the SPFL. And for 4 months, we fought everybody else. You know what I mean? We fought all the clubs that laughed at us and all the chairmen that laughed at us, and it was all their faults or whatever. And now all that anger's dissipated. All that it's done is just reminded me, actually, it's the players that I hate. It's the players that are to blame. And the core of the players, they're still there. Craig Halkett, Mikey Smith, Liam Boyce, Stephen Naismith,
Whoa, wait,
Christoph
hold
Berra.
on a minute here. Me and
They were all there.
Boyce spent ages getting back in my good books to the point where we're pals now. I'm not having you going after my boy Boyce.
To be fair to you though, 5 of the players that started on Tuesday night were signings.
Aye. But there's something fundamentally wrong at the football club, and I think like his point was great, is that those players got away with it. They should have bore the full brunt of the Hearts fan base, but they got away with it because of COVID, and I think they forgot that we hated them.
The only one thing I want to say, and only because it came up on Big Hearts earlier on, is that see at full time, and you look at some of the reactions of some of the players. If you watch it back, Boyce looked absolutely fucking livid. He looked absolutely raging. I can understand why, given the the whole national side debacle and all that sort of stuff. For me, he was the only one that actually looked raging. I'd rather see anger out of a player than apathy. See somebody just sort of trudging off and kicking the tuff and going, "Oh well, fuck it, 6-hour bus journey back to Edinburgh." That was a right laugh. Like, not giving a shit. I'd rather see somebody raging than not caring. And Boyce was the only one that I picked out at full time, and I'm happy to be corrected if there was more. That he actually looked like he gave a shit. He looked proper fucking raging with it, and for that, he probably gets a pass. And the fact they only played 45 minutes, he cut the ball back for Walker. Walker made an arse of it twice. Obviously not from Boyce's pass, but you know what I mean. I wouldn't specifically go after him. I think over the course of the season, as I said, we're pals now. he gets a pass for me because of his contribution, but he's the only one.
But that as well, you see one person being angry. There should be fucking multiple in there.
They should all be fighting each other.
Of course it should be. But that again, that comes for the culture at the football club. There's something fundamentally wrong in the football club. We tweeted it. Hearts lose to Dunfermline at East End Park, and the first thing the manager says is, "You're going to lose matches in this league." Sorry,
Shite.
but are we? Are we?
No.
Nearly £9 million a year is our playing budget. How were we going to lose matches in this league? Then you've got Andy Halliday a few days later coming on his podcast telling everybody that will listen that it was disrespectful to think Hearts would go the full league season undefeated. It's not disrespectful, by the way, because he thinks Rangers will go the full season undefeated. But it's not disrespectful for Rangers to go undefeated. But it's disrespectful for Hearts to say they'll go undefeated. His own teammates thinking that they can't, that he doesn't have the trust in to go the Vida League unbeaten. The excuse culture at the club has been mental. Robbie, after that performance, should have slaughtered the players and told them that's not acceptable. We don't lose matches here. These players are international football players. We demand better. And we would have got a reaction. Instead, a couple of days or a week or so later, we lose to Alloa in the League Cup. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the excuse culture, and we had it under Levine. Every bad result wasn't a bad result because we had loads and loads of injuries. Fans bought into it. We started to believe it. We thought the world was against us because we got injury after injury, whilst we continued to have a massively inflated squad of players getting 3-year contracts that have done nothing to deserve 3-year contracts. And here we are now. You're telling me, like you said, Ando, I'm not saying that every manager has to do the hairdryer or whatever, but if you're telling me if Robbie had addressed the issues that we've seen at Dunfermline properly, we'd have still be seeing them on Tuesday, because the mistakes we made at Dunfermline in the start of the season are the same mistakes we made on Tuesday night. Terrible in possession with foot penetration, can't finish, can't defend. Like, they're all the same. It doesn't matter what level of opposition we play against, they all expose the same weakness throughout the side. That's coaching. That's management. That is unacceptable.
It's the style of football they've been asked to play.
Yep.
You see it though, none of the players know what they're doing.
No, they don't. They don't. I've said it 100 times before. What's our game plan? What's our strategy? What's the game plan? Robbie Nielsen would have you believe before a ball was kicked this season that we wanted to play. He said, "I know what Hearts fans want. Hearts fans like traditional 4-4-2. They want width, they want tempo, they want directness and aggression. That's what they want." Well, where's that? He says he knows what it is. We signed that for 60 minutes against Dundee, opening game of the season.
I was going to say, we've seen it for one game.
And we haven't seen it.
The rest of it is
since.
missing in action.
If you look as well, the culture at the club that we have, he brought in Freer and Roberts to play that style. That's what he wanted to do. It didn't work. They didn't play in that style, and we reverted back to playing boring thing. He brought in Gary Mackay-Steven and Castagna to play in that style and to play in that way. They're failing too. So again, one thing can be a coincidence. Two is a trend. Is it Robbie is the problem rather than the players? Is it his message to the players that's wrong? Is it his training that's wrong? Because something isn't connecting from whatever they're told Monday to Friday to Saturday. It doesn't transpire on the park.
See, just to use one player that you mentioned there as a classic example of why it is Nielsen, is that someone scouted Jordan Roberts, whether it was Nielsen himself or whoever else it was, and said, yeah, you know what, we'll have him. Look, there's the tape. He looks all right. Let's get him signed. He played a couple of games. Obviously, we never really seen the best of him. He's now been farmed out to, is it Motherwell? On loan. He scored a couple of goals, and by all accounts, while I've not seen him myself, I'll only just go by what I read, but he got a man of the match in at least one game. I think it maybe even was the game against Hibs where he scored. Right, you know what, he's went from being good enough to be a signing target, gets brought in as, let's be frank, jobby the entire time that he's with us, gets punted out on loan to Motherwell, does a job for them, right? The only bit where he's been shite and all that is when he's been under Robbie Nielsen's control. So that's just one player, one example. But do you need more?
Exactly. It is a real It's a real problem. The other problem that we have is the stubbornness. What we have, everybody, and this is what I say. The club has problems that come a match day, the hour before the team is announced, everybody's gone, what the fuck's that? What formation's that? What we're playing? As soon as the team was announced on Tuesday, people were going, oh, we're playing three at the back. No, we're not. Playing 4-2-3-1 because that's the only formation he ever plays. The only reason he changed to 4-4-2 diamond for half an hour against Dundee is because fans were sick and moaning and moaning and moaning. And the chairman has released a statement saying, "Oh, we understand your moaning. Results are good." We changed it for one half, and we've went straight back to what we always do: 4-2-3-1, possession without penetration. It's piss.
Aye. If you continue to do what you've always done, you'll continue to get what you've always got, right? And that's a bit of a wanky business style phrase, but it's true. If you continue doing the same thing week after week, day after day, match after match, you'll continue to get the same shit. If it works for you and you've got a winning formula, brilliant. Keep it going. But we don't have a winning formula just now, and we're persisting with the same crap, and it's showing in every single result, personified by the result on Tuesday.
Yep. Was it Einstein says, the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome.
Aye, I don't know if it was Einstein, but that is definitely a phrase.
That is a quote, yeah. I don't know if
exactly. And it's the same thing. It's we're paraphrasing exactly the same thing, which is if you keep doing the same old shit, you'll continue to get the same old shit.
See, that's a positive for the podcast. We went from Shanks going fish to I just quoted Einstein.
I know. Fucking hell, man.
There you go. Yeah. That shows you the angle.
I don't know if it's just because we don't have Shanks on here. But anyway, draw your own conclusions there.
The overall thing I think we'll all agree with here is that it's unsalvageable now for Robbie Nielsen, isn't
it? You know what? You guys have been chatting away in the group chat. I mean, I'll be honest, I was really, really busy at work, and I have been ever since Wednesday morning. But after being on the Big Hearts call tonight, and obviously sitting down and chatting with you guys tonight, doing this recording, and then also having the time to review everything in the group chat for the last 2 days, you have sold me. It's him that's the problem. I can't look at all the evidence, look at all the different factors, and honestly come to a conclusion that says it's not him that's at fault. You could say, right, you know what, he's the manager, then it's down to the 11 players on the park. Right, if you look at Tuesday, one player having a bad game is fine, right? You can handle that in isolation. 11 players having a bad game, that's really, really bad. And then 11 players having a bad game for the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, however long it is, that is an external factor, and that external factor is Robbie Nielsen. I'm sorry, it just is. So, in short summary, I know I've just bored you to death with a minute's worth of spiel there, but just what.
Don't worry, we talk about Einstein now.
Aye, exactly. Just want to see it from my point of view, because I think it's important before I come out with a statement that agrees with you, Corbett. Robbie Nielsen is the problem for me, and you know what? If you want to challenge against that, I'm happy to hear your argument. But I think I've got enough evidence now to shoot it down.
It's so weird. I said it before pod or on the pod, but the Hearts fans are so like in sync now. Like we all agree with each other, which is weird because I agree with you, Ando, and I never agree with you. Like
I know, well,
fans are fickle. Like we do forget things.
There's the show
but
name.
We're not going to forget that.
No.
Tam and Ando are going out now.
KISSING. Here's my thing to you then, Tam. Right? Is there any combination of things that can get Robbie Nielsen out of this hole? Because here's my worry. We're going to win the league. That's a certainty.
You're still not going to say this. Is
right, on you go. Right, Tam, on you go. On you go. You do it then, Tam.
In terms of combination, and there's no way he's going to get it. Like, we will probably all buy our season tickets in the summer. He's got 6 games. The only way Robbie Nielsen is going to get out of it, humps these 6 games, because you know what, that'll probably lead to him being sick. If he gets us promoted, which he's going to, it's not going to be an issue. We're going to move on. We'll get into next season. It'll be the same turgid shit, game after game. Hundreds of changes. Nobody knows what they're doing. Same players will be in the same place, and like the fans are already against him. How do you turn that around? Well, like, even a cup run would turn that around. But guess what? We're fucking out.
Never at the cup. Your boyfriend wants to say something. What are you saying, Anna?
Yeah, so there is a way he can get out of it. If between now and the end of the season he doesn't lose another goal. Sorry, did my broadband just fuck up there?
Might want to go with that again.
Aye, right, okay, cool, that's fine. So that's the only one edit we've had to make so far. I'm happy with that. Yeah, sorry. What I'll say is, he has got a way of getting out of it. Between now and the end of the season, if he changes that formation, as an example, wins every match by a margin of 4 or more and doesn't concede any goals, then he'll have turned it around for me, because he will have figured out what the source of the problem is. Whether it's his shitty formation, whether it's his shit instructions. If he goes the rest of the season without losing a goal, and we win every game by 3 or 4, by not playing 4-2-3-1, then that would show me that he is at least learning, but that's too much to hope for. So,
well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's an extreme example. That is the only way that he keeps his job for me. We win every match by 4-0, 4 or more. That aside,
I've got a question as well. Like, I think I seen it come up on Twitter. Richard Cobb might have said it or something. But Twitter. In these 6 games, his sort of, somebody else said it the night, he's had a written warning. Is this the 6 games that he needs to prove that he's up to it?
No.
What are you talking about? He's not had a written warning. And
No,
gave
but
him a
that's what
cuddle and
somebody
told him
might have
everything's
just
cool.
said. That, 100%. I think that myself.
I think the anger that everybody feels now is for the fact that we know, regardless of what happens between now and the end of the season, Robbie Nielsen will be the manager at the start of next season, which then leads us to the problem if he makes a beep of it at the start of next season. We're going to have to wait until January to bring in players to try and dig us out of a hole that he dug us in, when season tickets aren't going to be sold because Robbie's in charge. Pledges are getting potentially cancelled because people are raging. How do we then afford to bring in players to hope that we dig ourselves out of a hole and aren't just staring down the barrel of coming straight back down the leagues? It's that thing where the stubbornness of all of them, it's the same stubbornness we've seen with Craig Levein. It's the same story we've seen with Craig Levein. It has to have a different ending. If Robbie Nielsen isn't sacked by the game kicking off on Saturday, he won't be sacked in the summer. The people that are pretending to themselves that Anne is going to turn around at the last game of the season, we lift the trophy, sell the Lego buses, sell the merch T-shirts. We're the champions of the championship. Hip hip hooray! Thanks for what you've done, Robbie. See you later. That's not going to happen. And that leads us nicely, because I'm so professional, at the very, very last problem, and it's a short problem because I don't want to have a pop at them because it's what makes Hearts Hearts. But we get a problem is the fans. Our expectations as a fan base are absolute rock bottom. That there's actually, on Saturday, people were arguing tooth and nail that a 0-0 draw to Arbroath, the only dropped points against Arbroath since 1975, was actually acceptable for a club the size of Hearts. Has now 4 days later seen us lose to Brora Rangers, and some of those same people are still defending the club and the manager. What has happened to the fan base? Is it apathy? Are people just not asked? What is it?
I don't know, but what I'd like to do is put out an appeal now. If you are one of those fans that thinks it's acceptable to go away to Arbroath and draw 0-0, having watched that match and seen the absolute shit show that it is, email us. It's on screen, admin@thisismystory.uk. slide into our DMs on the Twitter or the Instagram. Actually, maybe not the Instagram because Shanks is in charge of that. But get in charge through. Get in touch through one of our socials. We'll have you on here, and you can explain to our listener base and all the other Hearts fans why you think that's fucking acceptable. Because for me, it's not. That is. I'm like, obviously I'm not close enough to the social medias to be able to comment. Corbett, you've said that there's a number of people out there saying that's acceptable. No, it's not. Any Hearts fan I know worth their salt would say that is a fucking embarrassment. It's an absolute disgrace. Anyone that says otherwise, what are you on? Have you been sniffing the glue?
One thing I would say after Tuesday night, I've not seen anyone say that that's acceptable, and I'd prove keep his job.
I've seen plenty of people go on our mentions today. Is it a byproduct of the sort of kicking and the fights that we had with Romanoff and the whole start of the Save Our Hearts and having to donate? Remember, we had to buy all the tickets and we'd raised £1 million to keep the club in business and all that. We just had so many kickings now that a slight kick in the balls doesn't feel anything when your balls are already numb because we've had 20 years of sort of setbacks? Or is it just a general malaise at the football club because nobody from the top to the players to anybody actually holds anybody to any form of standard?
I get what you mean. It's the frog in the boiling water thing, isn't it? It's I don't know. We've been.
Is that a thing?
It is.
Aye. I don't know.
Do you know what? Do you want us to educate you, Tam?
You can explain it.
We'll release that as bonus content. As Corbett and Ando giving Tam a lesson. But it's. You've derailed me, Tam. Fucking hell, I forgot what I was going to say. You absolutely derailed me. It's almost a case of, right, we've taken that many kicks in the balls over however many years it's been that this latest kick in the balls probably doesn't even feel like it should be giving us any sort of pain. It's a kick in the balls, but you know what? By my standard, any kick in the nuts or whatever is bad. It doesn't matter if it's the worst or the middle or the easiest. Anything like this is shit.
Right. Tam. Good. Thanks, Tam.
Have I derailed you, Tam? You're trying to unpick. He's like, why is there a frog in boiling water?
You're the actual picture of what I think some of the problem is. And that's not me being horrible to you.
Yes, it is.
You're done in. You're done in. You can't. What's the point?
It's exhausting, man. Like,
it's exhausting.
You can get angry and stuff, but like, fuck. If every time we got angry, like, it just, I would be like Ando. I'd be as angry as Ando, and I can't do that.
See, this is why.
Sorry, what?
That's why it's such. That's why it's a culture shock for me or for you when I became a happy clapper, is because I'm at a constant state of anger. So, like, you know, I mean, a Hearts selling chicken korma at the microwave and the main stand upsets me. It annoys me. I'm angry at that. Do you know what I mean? I'm angry that there's face painters on the plaza for a game. I hate all that stuff. I go into the toilets. I'm angry that they're clean. That's not what football's about. Like, I don't go to the football for that stuff. So I'm always at a constant anger. But the problem that we have right now is that we're no getting angry at the things that should make us angry. Do you know what I mean? Like, we let big, massive things like Tuesday wash away. Results like getting beat off Alloa wash away. If we stormed the Bastille after Alloa, would we have been knocked out by Brora? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no... Where is the line for the standards? Where is the line? We should have been calling for Robbie Nielsen to be sacked after he was beat off Alloa in the League Cup. A part-time team that had never beaten us in their whole history beat us in the League Cup. We should have kicked the door down and said, get him out. We should have, but we didn't, because we make excuses. It's a plastic surface. The League Cup doesn't matter. With this, that and the other. We made excuses after we got beat off Dunfermline. We got excuses because we got beat off Dundee. We make excuses because we got beat off Rafe. We get excuses because we draw with Queens and Morton and Cali. where are the standards? What are the actual standards of the football club? What does it take for the fan base to go, sorry, but this isn't Hearts. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable, and that's the biggest worry that we have here with the malaise of this jam tomorrow culture. Stop worrying about what's coming round the corner and look at what's in front of you right now, because what's in front of you is shite. Enough. You're not getting through shite. Nobody comes through shite clean. It doesn't happen. You do not get to go through shit and come out the other side clean. Can't happen. You have to address what's happening now so that we can get to the future in a better state. I don't want to hear Joe Savage say in the middle of a season where we're being beat off Dundee and Dunfermline and Alloa and Morton and Cali and fucking England that we're going to be the fourth best team in Scotland next season, because we're not even the fourth best team in Scotland now. Fix it now.
100% agree. And this, again, not to keep harking back to it, but on the Big Hearts call earlier on, we asked, you take the scenario we're in just now and you apply it forward, look forward, where are we going to finish the league this season, right? Fucking, I dread to even think. We'll be fighting off relegation if we have that team, this entourage, and this chairperson at the helm, right? I genuinely fear we could become a yo-yo club if we continue allowing this shit to continue.
I don't think we'll be relegated, but I don't think we'll be anywhere near where we want to be. That's my thing.
We're not top six.
No, and that's the problem. We might be top six. We might finish fifth for a season, and then the next season we'll finish seventh. We're not where we need to be or where we want to be as a fan base, and that's the worry that bugs me, is the fact that there's nothing that we've seen this season that points to anything other than the same type of shite that we've seen this season, but in the better league. That's the ultimate worry, and that worries me. And it worries me because I feel really sorry for the fan base, because I know every set of fans in the world say that their fans are the best fans in the world, but Hearts fans have stepped up numerous times to the cause for this football club, and they will do again. And they'll do it again and again and again. Pandemic, no pandemic. The Hearts fans always, always, always back the team. And I'm getting to the point now where it upsets me, because they do not deserve it anymore. The players, the club, the manager, the owner, they do not deserve the backing that they get for the Hearts fans. They don't deserve to walk out at August next season with 18,000 Hearts fans there, all buying the brand new top, selling 14,000 season tickets. They don't deserve it, because they don't represent us in the way that we expect them to, and that makes me feel sorry for the fans, because they've managed to turn us all against each other. Do you know what I mean? We draw 1-1 or we draw 0-0 with Arbroath. 50% of the fan base take to Twitter to defend the result. 50% of the fan base take to Twitter to have a go at the result, and nobody is actually having a pop at the club or the players or the owner or the manager. It just gets noise, and they get to sulk and scurry out the back door without anybody doing anything about it, and that's got to change.
Mm-hmm.
What are the predictions for Saturday?
Yeah, I actually have. You know what? I've just written down this bit on my post-it note. I'll get the rest from everyone in the group, but I have actually got written down predictions for Queen of the South. So I'm going to go first.
Well, before we do it, is there anything else seriously that needs to be addressed or talked about that you've
I think we've covered a lot.
Covered it.
We have covered a lot. It's
not going to stop the chat. We'll probably do it more on Tuesday.
I'll be honest. This has been. You know what? This is not our normal kind of episode. It's not full of banter. We've addressed the serious stuff, and you know what? No slight on anyone else. I'm glad that it's just been us three, and that's going to sound really, really shitty that we've not had all six of the guys on. Obviously, they couldn't make it for whatever reason, but I think being able to chat through the issues and all the news items with just us three has been really good. It has been almost a bit like group therapy. Saying that, I'm going to go straight on to predictions. I'm predicting 2-0 to Queen of the South. Group therapy can fuck off. I'm still raging and still depressed. Sorry, I'll cut back to you, Corbett, for what you wanted to say in closing, but I wanted to get that in. 2-0 to Queens.
Aye. No, like I said, I think we said it on the live reaction on Tuesday, and we said this pod as well. I, I don't want to laugh and joke about Hearts just now because it's not a laughing matter. We've laughed and joked and made light of situations with Hearts for long enough. It's serious. I don't think it's the right mood. Need is people making laughs and jokes and things about a situation as bad as what it is right now. We've just lost a game that we haven't lost in 121 years. I don't want to play conundrums and who does Corbett hate, because Corbett hates everyone now. He absolutely hates everyone. So let's move on. I think Hearts will win comfortably on Saturday because they'll get a reaction. They'll pretend that it fixes what we just seen. They'll say that they've bounced back after the cup shock or whatever. 4-0 Hearts.
4-0 Hearts. Wow.
There we go.
Tam?
Literally took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say it'll be a sweep under the carpet effect. Everyone will like to think we'll forget, but we're not going to forget. So, no, I was going to say 3-0, to be honest with you, but just the whole build-up.
Go with 4, why not? Go with 4.
All right, you know what? We'll go with 4.
No, it's not going to happen. There is one of these. If we get a knee-jerk reaction out of them, brilliant, I'll be all for it. But I'm erring on the side of caution and saying, nah, I don't think we are through the worst patch yet. I genuinely don't.
To be fair, every bad game we've had this season, we've not seen a reaction except for Ray Rovers. So we're still waiting on that reaction.
We keep going further down the clungy. So you know what? I don't see Saturday being any different. Only because I've got plans for Saturday night, and I just know because Hearts are Hearts, and I love them so dearly.
Is it coming back up the road in the train?
No, it's not, mate. I've an engagement in England. Our rules are different for yours. Not until April 12th, but
Saturday night takeaway group session.
No, but I've got another story about that we can talk about offline. Anyway, I do have plans for Saturday night, and I need to be in a good frame of mind for it. So, you know what's going to happen. Such is life. Hearts are going to shit all over that. So I can only see a defeat. Because that's just the way things go.
Pretty good point.
Yeah. Well, let's end it with just reiterating what we started, what we said at the start, which is don't protest.
Yes.
Don't go. We fully understand why you would want to, and you feel that it's the last resort and it's what's needed, but don't do it. And if absolutely have to go and you think, wait, don't make a cunt of yourself. Do you know what I mean? Oh damn. Beep.
No, we're not even going to bleep that. We're going to leave it in because it deserves the.
Don't do anything stupid. Don't go. Stay in the house. We'll think of something. We must be able to think of something that we can let our voices be heard and get through to the club. It's the last thing that the fans need. The fans have been enough. That's the thing as well with all this is we'll only end up upsetting each other, arguing with each other, falling out with each other as a fan base, and we've already had enough of that type of stuff. We don't need it. We've already been embarrassed. So, stay at the house. Hate Hearts for your house. It feels brilliant. We'll be back. We'll try the live reaction on Saturday. I don't know what the broadband and the Wi-Fi is like at the plaza, but we'll try.
We'll try. It's 4G. You'll be fine, unless there's 20,000 folk there.
But we'll try live reaction, and if not, we'll be back to normality with a new manager podcast on Tuesday.
Don't worry, normal.
Might we say this would be a short one? Right?
Normal service.
But we're too angry.
Normal service will be resumed. Tam and Ando will be back to hating each other. We're only just pals for this one.
Aye. Right, boy. If you've got this far in, sorry for depressing you.
See you later.
See you all later. Go on, go.